Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Mrs.Y.Pramathi, Assistant Professor in the Department of Engineering, Information and Technology at Mallaredi College of Engineering and Technology. I'm delighted to be a host for this evening. Welcome back to the 12th session of 6-day Atal Faculty Development Program on Next-Gen Solutions for Medical Challenges powered by AI-based intelligence systems organized by Information and Technology at MRC. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for this session, Mrs.Y.Pramathi. She is an IT professional with 10 years of experience. Currently, she is working as a software engineer at Tata Consultancy Service. She is an expertise in Pega application development and also has a good experience in handling key business scenarios like decision management, case management, prioritization, bug prevention, reporting, and integration of external systems, for example, SOP and UI. She has a good exposure to various debugging tools like Tracer, Live UI, and Clipboard. She has developed applications using Pega PRPC with both waterfall and agile process. She holds a PRPC version 2 certified system architect and PRPC V7.2 certified senior system architect certification. Dear all, please join me in welcoming Ms. Pramathi ma'am. Welcome ma'am.
Hi everyone. Please let me know. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right now I'm sharing my PPT. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
PPT has not been shared.
PPT is not been shared. Okay, let me share.
Okay, madam. Okay, madam. Okay, madam.
Yeah. Am I visible to all?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yes ma'am.
Yeah. So, hello everyone. I'm very glad to be part of this program. So, my special thanks to the coordinator Suresh Garu and co-coordinator Naresh Garu. So, the concept which I have allocated is security and privacy issues in healthcare application. So the entire concept is like it's a theory. It's a full of theory, but I will try to make it more interesting. It is like just be have some patience, and we will see some examples also what why it is very important. Not only healthcare, in banking industry, in finance and healthcare, so many organizations keeping lot of time and effort, money to secure their applications, privacy, these things. So we will go in detail one by one. So before going to the main concepts, let's go to some introduction. Let's see some introduction, some definitions. Most of the people know that, but let's go through once again. Okay, so these are the concepts we are covering right now, like the introduction of information privacy and security, and how we are protecting this information privacy and security, user security and malware, what are the security standards, and privacy and security laws. Yeah, let's go one by one. May I know, is it full screen? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So coming to the introduction of information privacy and security, we usually use these words, these terms interchangeably, but in different aspects. But the common thing is that to protect the information, that is the common thing, common aspect. Okay, in these two terms, information privacy and security. So coming to the information privacy, the definition of the information privacy is, it is we are ensuring every individual to control their data, like where to store that data, where to access that data. So we are giving complete control to that person. So that comes under information privacy. Because suppose I have posted something in the social media, but if they want to play it in an advertisement, definitely they need consent from me, right? So like that, suppose the customer can delete their medical history at any time. So these types of things we are providing, giving to the user, it comes under the information privacy. And coming to the information security. 1 minute. Yeah. Coming to the information security. Information security comes to protecting this data from the breaches. Okay, breaching the system, like from viruses and like malwares, from these attacks. So how to protect these data, it comes under the information security. The main goal of the information security is to provide the confidentiality, availability, and integrity. So we will see in detail in the upcoming slides. So threats to information security. There are a lot of threats. Actually, threat is nothing but something harm, they want to do with your data, something exploit your data. These and all comes under threats to information security. Then let's see what are the sources, like why that threats are happening, what are the, from various sources we will get these threats. So let's see one by one. Okay, the primary source is the hacker. The main person, the hacker, the attacker, will he want to disclose the our sensitive information. So what he will do is he will just put some malicious software. He will keep some virus in our system and get access of our system. So the second one is virus and malware. As we discussed, it is like a software program to harm, to damage, or to edit our data. In usually the sensitivity of the healthcare industries, mainly due to the sensitivity of the patient's health care, it is very important that data which belongs to the patient's health information data is very important in healthcare industries. So these attackers will mainly focus on these healthcare applications to get the data, to get the access of that data. And the third one, one of the source of the threats is poorly designed system. Okay, the application flaws. If there is an application flaws, immediately, you know what they will, the attacker's main focus will go there, and they can easily inject the virus into our systems. Okay. Some of the examples, if you take some of the examples, SQL injection will be there, and cross script is there. So there is a malicious script. Okay, once it comes to our system, once it is injected to our system, then the complete access will go to that attacker. And one of that source is insiders. Okay, insiders, like in healthcare. Coming to the healthcare, mainly I'm focusing on the healthcare, as the topic is regarding healthcare applications. So insiders means, suppose healthcare staff can also like they expose the information, okay, that can cause a threat attack, okay, for their own benefit, for the money or something. Okay, they can expose the information of the patient. Then people ignorance and lack of knowledge. Without lack of knowledge, they will if you won't train the employees, you know, they will discuss the personal matters of a patient also. In upcoming slide, I will show you one of the example where there is a confidentiality risk happen. Okay, so without lack of knowledge, they will simply discuss about the patient sensitive information. Okay, this is also one of the threat. And disasters like earthquakes or else some other incidents which are affecting that information systems. So what will happen, like what consequences will happen when the data was exposed, when the confidential information was disclosed? What are the consequences we have to face is, so it divided into 4 types, like information risk, operational risk, personal risk, and organization risk. So coming to the information risk, so what will happen if a security attack if security attack happen, then unauthorized access and disclosure of the confidential information. So confidential information will leak, and they can do anything with that, right? Once they get access, they can add, delete, modify, anything they can do with that information. So these two comes under informational risk. And coming to the operational risk, system not functional, like denial of service. Coming to the denial of service, they'll flood a lot of requests where they will stop, where actual user, like the authorized person, can't able to see the data. It's actually, the thing is, he can stop the operations in health industries. Mainly in health industries, it is very important, right? On time he have to take the medication, so on time he have to go for the surgeries and all. So the attacker, what attacker can do is, he will stop the function, he will stop functioning properly, and system wrongly operated. So coming to the personal risk, the personal risk, as all we know it, like identify thefts, and financial losses can happen, and disclosure of information that may affect employment or other personal aspects, because that person want to know, because it may affect his employment also. So these type of personal risks are there. These are consequences of the security attacks. And finally, organization risk. So financial losses, because for a company, if they lose, like if they got attacked by any cyber security, like any malware, viruses, they have to pay a huge amount to come out of that. So it is organization risk, have huge financial losses. They will ask, the attacker may demand a lot of amount, like millions of dollars they can demand. So there is no option for the healthcare applications, mainly for the healthcare and banking applications. So they have to keep more care on this information privacy and security. And one is damage to reputation and trust. So always there will be a competitor. So once we lost the trust, it will be very, very difficult for a customer to again get the trust. So this is a big loss for an organization. One is financial loss, so one is damage to the reputation and trust. So they will keep, now they are keeping a lot of concentration, they are giving a lot of importance to this information security and privacy. So coming to the formal definitions of what is information privacy and security. So one is, information privacy is nothing but right of an individual to control how their personal data is collected, stored, and used. It is also known as data privacy or data protection. So the user have control on its own data. So he have to know, it's his right to know where, when they collected the data, and where they have stored the data, and if they share to anyone, they have to take the consent from the customer, from patient. Okay. And coming to information security is protecting this information from the breaches or unauthorized access, disclosures, record, or destruction. So protecting comes under information security, whereas information privacy comes under the control of his own data. So these are two definitions, two aspects in the information security. So as I mentioned before, the primary goal of information security is to maintain confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Let's see with an example to clear it out. So coming to the confidentiality, confidentiality is nothing but like only authorized persons. We have to ensure authorized persons only have access to see the data. So this is one of the example happened in 2007. So the staff nurses allegedly picking at one of the doctor's information, okay, confidential medical information, after he was hurt in a motorcycle accident. So they just picked his medical information. As a punishment, they all got suspended. The second one is integrity risks. So integrity risks is nothing but there is no alteration on data, though there is no modification on data. So nobody modify the data whatever there. So that is one of the goal we have to provide in information security. The example for this Operation Aurora, which is happened around 2009. Give a minute. So it says, yeah. So it is actually happened around 2009, and this attack, yeah, it mainly targeted the important big organization like Google, Adobe, Jupyter Networks. Okay, it mainly targeted the big organization. You know how it is started? It started sending some phishing mails. Okay, phishing mails are nothing but we will go in deeper on that. Like it will trick the recipients to click on the link and all. Okay, so what is the goal of this? Is the goal of the attackers is to gain the access and modify them code repositories at high-tech security and defense contractor companies. So it is a very big loss, and Google also exposed this one around, I think, 2009. Yeah, 2009. So coming to, yeah, the next one is availability risk. We have to, in information security, availability is very important. As we discussed, it is a very sensitive nature. As a patient's health information is a very sensitive information. So whenever the patient needs, whenever they need, the data should be available. But you know what attackers will do? He will keep some virus, worms that led to instability and system restart. Suddenly, if you want to check the information of the patient for the treatment, if we get this type of messages, it is not good, right? To having this type of system restarts, and if the data is not available to the patient, to the doctor at the right time, it is very critical for the patient. So availability, the three goals for the information security is: one, we have to provide the confidentiality, one is integrity, and one is availability. So these we have to fulfill these three goals. So one of the example is that one flight Air 501 rocket launch failure because of the data conversion. Data conversion is not happened at that time, so the rocket launch got failed. So in 2015, there is an article where there are more data breaches in the health information, protected health information, than banking itself, because these breaches estimated more costly in the healthcare. As we see, one of the risks, people, they don't, some of the diseases, or some of the people, they don't want to expose their health issues, health information. So attackers will keep more focus on this to disclose his health information, that sensitive information. So attackers mainly more concentrated on that health information. So data breaches of protected health information in the United States. So article went on 2015. So as we saw, there are a lot of threats. We just mentioned a lot of threats, right? So let's see how we can protect that information privacy and security. Okay, the common terms we can use, we just used is that attack, threat, vulnerability. So attack is it just attempt that attacker made to breach the system security. Coming to the threat, threat is nothing but that happen, like the scenario that can harm a system, and vulnerability is the hole that is used in the attack. We called it as a vulnerability. um, let's see what are the possible means of attacks that can attacker can do. Okay, so here in this picture you can see there is a communication between two persons, Alice and Bob, and Eve is the attacker here. Just see what are the ways that Eve can attack the system. Okay, and first one is if he want to access the system, he want to have the physical access to the client computer, right? He have to get the he have to operate the client computer, and electronic access like a password. He has to know the password to access their computers. So what he can do is like tricking into doing something malware, phishing, like he has to convince the Alice or Bob to click in something phishing mail, something harmful links. So once they click, then malware will install into their systems. So coming to the attack scenarios happened in the network level. If you see, there is a network level. Eve can also attack at network level. If you see attacks, the one is eavesdropping or sniffing. So here the Eve can intercept the data while transmitting. He can intercept the data and he can change it. In the man in the middle attack, so modifying data. Suppose Alice sent one data to Bob. Bob thinks that Alice only sent the data, but in middle, Eve can change it and get access. Eve can get the important information, right? Suppose two partners are talking, they know each other, they are very good friends. In a way, if suppose Alice asked password to Bob, definitely he used to give, right? But whatever password asked, actually Alice didn't ask the password to Bob, but what Bob think is that it was changed by you, but Bob don't know that. At network level, he will, in the man in the middle attack, he will change the data and simply he will ask, can you tell me the some banking password? Bob don't know that. He thinks that Alice only asking, so surely he will send the data. He will give the password credentials. Okay, these type of attacks can happen at network level. Replay attacks. Replay attacks means suppose Alice send some token to the Bob, and in middle Eve will take and he will always replay it. He will always replay it and gain the access to the unauthorized system. He will get the access to the Alice system. So that is a replay attack. So these are the attacks that happen at network level. Coming to the server level. So server level also, the attacker can get access. So if we see, one is unauthorized access to the servers. He can get unauthorized access. One of the ways, physical means, he can directly go to the server room without having without having any access. You can enter into the server room. It is also one way of attack. And he can access the user accounts and privileges. He can change the privileges also. Suppose he is a team member, he can take the privileges of an admin and he can modify the data at server level, which will impact a lot. Okay, attacks through software vulnerabilities. and he can impose some vulnerabilities, like he can introduce some malware in the server, and he can get entire access of the server and attacks using protocol weakness. So we have to use strong protocols, otherwise the attackers will easily take the unauthorized access, and they may inject the viruses. Okay, and DOS attacks, as we see, they will flood with a lot of requests and make network server busy, and they won't allow the right person to see the authorized person to see the information. So these are the attacks that will happen at network level. And coming to the next, safeguarding against attacks. Yes. So in the previous slides, we see what are the attacks that may happen between the communication. Now see what are the safeguarding we are providing, like what are the principles, what are the measures we are following against the attack. So at physical security level, normally if we think, what we can do is we can lock the rooms, we can keep security cameras, and one more thing is mobile device security. Like if somebody enter in CC cameras also, this option is there. If somebody enter into that room, or else somebody enter into that home, immediately we will get the notification, right? Somebody entered into, or else some malicious thing happened, like that notifications will come. So these are also one of the measures we are taking. And secured storage, we are physical, like the systems and all, we are keeping it very securely. And these are the some of the measures we are taking at physical security level. And coming to the user security, so at user level also, we are maintaining some measures, practices, not our systems get affected. So one of the main thing is under user account management. So one of the thing we are following is strong password policy. It is very important, because we are in every application, Gmail, everything, they're following the password policy. Previously it won't be there, but now it is strictly following, like this much length, this much character should be included. The complexity also it is showing, less complex, more complex. And so it is always we have to give very strong password to make it secure. And principle of the least privilege, it's nothing but, suppose we need to guarantee, we need to grant the minimum permissions is enough. So suppose in software industries, if I am a team member or I am a team lead, I won't get any permissions related to admin, right? Because it may decrease the chances of cyber attacks. If I also get the manager or team lead level of privileges, it may misuse. Okay, it may misuse by me, or it may misuse by the attacker who will attack my system or application. So always grants the minimum privilege which is necessary for doing that task. That must be enough. For the applications at software level, suppose if a fresher is there, if a fresher, we will give only some privileges. That's it. We won't give anything to edit, anything to delete, mainly any rule to delete. He don't have that privilege to delete it as a fresher. So like that, in healthcare application also, whatever privileges he need, that much is enough. So I'll maintain least privilege principle. So it is also good principle, good practice for the against the attacks. And coming to clear desk and clear screen policy, here the system was automatically closed, automatically logged, not to seen from by any other thing. Like suppose if any urgency, he has to move to other system, immediately after 5 seconds, if the system is auto closed, then we can decrease the cyber attacks, right? Otherwise unauthorized person there is a chance if he go to another block or if he go to another ODC, some unauthorized person can come and he can view the data. Okay, so we have to follow clear screen policies at user security level against the attacks. Audit trails, nothing but we will log the entire thing, activity thing, what person accessed what type of data, what files he opened, whether he edited or he deleted or he added anything unwanted, like that everything we will audit with the logs. Okay, and education awareness building on policy enforcement. So there are so many policies introduced by the governments for this security, user level security. We will see in upcoming slides on regarding that. And awareness, we are creating the awareness, like conducting this type of sessions. So in the education also, they are having a knowledge on security, how to use alerts, and education about phishing and social engineering. Okay, and yeah, so safeguard techniques against the attacks at system security level. So system level, previously we have seen at user level, now it is at system security level. So one measure we will do is we will always update our antivirus, personal firewalls, intrusions, anti-spyware. Okay, we always update the system. Okay, patches, fixes for operating system vulnerabilities. Okay, and one more thing is redundancy, avoid single point of failure. Yeah, avoid single point of failure means, suppose if there is only one component and if somebody attack it, then entire system will stop working, right? So which is not at all a good thing. So we will avoid that. So we will avoid single point of failure. That means we will keep multiple failures, multiple points of failure. So if one thing is failed, then we can go to another way and we can start that application will work, nothing will happen. If we keep only single point of failure and that will damage, that will attacked by the attacker, then that's it. So that's why we have to avoid single point of failure. And honeypots are nothing but it's like a software. It will check whether any malicious thing happened or not. So it is one of the cyber security mechanism where it will identify any viruses or malicious things happen. So it will identify that. So this is one of the some of the measures we can follow at system security level. And coming to the software security. So software security level, there are so many principles that we follow for the security, providing security to the software. Some are secured by design. So we have to design very securely, that will give us the security. And we have to always testing against failures, bugs, invalid inputs. Okay, so failures wherever there is some what I can tell, where there is a bugs, attacker can easily enter into our systems. Okay, so we keep on continuously testing against our failures, and we have to stop the not to become malicious thing. That bug should not change into a malicious thing. So we keep on testing against that failures. Updates, so whenever we see any vulnerabilities, immediately we have to give an update to that patch. And yeah, and next one is the measures we will follow against our attacks at network security level. So one of the measure is access control. Yeah, so we have to ensure only authorized person, whether it is physically entering or electronic way, we have to ensure that only authorized people have access to that devices, network devices, like router, switches. Okay, we have to ensure that, and use a secure network protocols if possible. So we have to use a very secure network protocols. And data, so during transmission of data, if possible, we have to encrypt the data. So that is also one of the measure we can take from attacks, get rid of the attacks. And bandwidth monitoring and control. So in applications, we have to use some tools to always monitoring how much the bandwidth is and all, we have to check. So this is one of the measures. These are some of the measures we can do at network security. And coming to database security, so at database security level, also like network security, we have to ensure that only authorized persons have access to the databases and storage devices. So we have to ensure that only the authorized person have to enter to that database room, or else storage devices, or else to access the database. We have to be very much careful on the access control and encryption of the data. Yeah, so we have to whatever data is stored in the database, we have to if possible, we have to encrypt the data if necessary, so that attackers won't that much easily won't attack our servers, databases. Secure destruction of data after use, this is a very important thing, because suppose some data is there that is no longer needed. Okay, but we have to securely destruct the data, remove the data. It's very important thing, otherwise somebody can take the data and they can misuse that one. So secure destruction of the data also very important. And access control to the queries and reports. So in database, we have to give control to authorized persons only to check the reports, and or else for the queries to execute, we have to give proper access control to the authorized persons only. And coming to security features of database management system, so inbuilt database management systems having security features, MongoDB, SQL, MySQL having security features, so we have to use that one. So these are the safeguards we can use against the attacks. Coming to user security, we will see in detail user security and software security, because it's a very important from this topic. So we will see in detail. Yeah. So user security. Coming to user security, as most of the people know that change the password, don't enable the password, don't write it on the notebooks, don't use same password, don't reveal password, this and all we know. But let's see some of the new things. Okay, before that, access control. Some terms we need. Access control, as we discussed, selective restriction of access to the system. We have to restrict the access to the system. Okay, only authorized persons have to check the data at user security level. And role-based access control, as I have given example, no team member, no need of having access control, like no need of that access like team lead, right? So he may misuse that. So role-based access control is also very important. Based on the person role, we will give access. And audit trails, logs, records that provide evidence of sequence of activities. This is also I mentioned, like everything, whatever we have done, everything it will get recorded, whether we have deleted some record, or else inserted some record, or else modified something in coding or everything, it will get recorded. And identification, so basically we will identify the person with an user ID, some other unique codes will be there, like who opened that and all, it will record and authenticate it. The authentication will happen using the keys, pins, passwords. Biometrics are also there for healthcare applications to authenticate it, and authorization. So in authorization, we will follow that principle of least privilege and specifying how much you have access. How much access do you have? Only that much they can see it. Non-repudiation. Non-repudiation is a very important concept in the cyber security mechanism, because here it is proving the integrity, origin, and performer of an activity without the person's ability to refute his actions, because someone may delete the data and he can easily tell, no, I didn't delete that data. Okay, so, but non-reputation will proving that integrity and origin. Only he can't deny that he did not do that action, so it will give that much integrity origin. Okay, so when he altered something, definitely he can't deny, he can't tell he didn't do that action. So it is providing that measure at user security level. So most common thing is signatures, as we know, passwords, biometrics, and digital certificates in public key infrastructure often used to ascertain non-reputation. And a multi-factor authentication, we are using like different forms of verifications. Previously only password will be there, but now in authenticator app we will get the code. We have to give that code, or else it will ask some pattern, some questions what we already know. So we have to give that one. Sorry, yeah. We have to, yeah, multi-level factoring. It means 2 or more levels of verifications it is allowing to authenticate. And two-factor authentication, it is a subset of multi-factor authentication. Like it is asking pin after giving password, also it is asking pin, or in authenticator app it will ask to enter the number what is displayed in the system on the screen. So it comes under the authentication. And types of authentication factors, that authentication factors are something, you know, the password, because you only set the password, right? We only set the password, so we know that something we know, something we have, and something we are. Through the biometric, it will authenticate us. So the strong recommended policy. 1 minute. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sorry. Is it okay now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sorry. So recommended password policy. As we all know, the password should be very strong, like it should be complex, not to get identified by the attacker. So what are the measures we can follow? Like not measures, how it should be. The password policy, what it's recommended, we will see. First thing is 8 characters or more to slow down the brute force attacks. Brute force attacks means nothing but trial and error. Till now, most of the people keep 1 2 3 4 5 6, that the password, or else date of birth. Okay, to slow down the brute force attacks, 8 characters or more we need. Complexity consists of 3 or 4 categories of character. Like it will ask us, uppercase should be there. If we give password, it will, one should be an uppercase, one should be lowercase, there will be a one symbol, one number should be must. Like that, the complexity we are increasing to slow down the brute force attacks. And dictionary attacks, and not simple, no meaning, not simple patterns, not easy to guess. So these 3 comes under, there is like a trial and error method. So as I said, most of the people, they will keep a birth date, or else a name of the kids, or else 1111 1234. So these are the passwords. So keep a complex password, then it will secure your system. So at user level, we have to follow that password policies. One of the techniques, so techniques to remember the password. As here they mentioned, we have to remember a sentence and we have to take the first letter of that word, then you can make a password of it. So complete sentence, so everyone have some sentence which they use normally, which they will remember regularly. Okay, we can take that type of sentence and take first letter of that word. So think of a full sentence that you can remember. Ideally, the sentence should have 8 or more words with numbers and symbols. Use first character of each word as a password. Okay. And so this is also this one of the technique. And coming to the phishing email. So we'll discuss in detail. The phishing email is the easy trick the attackers can do, because they can convince they will always tell us to they will convince us to click on that link. Click on that link. So am I visible to everyone? Can you please confirm once again? Hello? Hello?
Ma'am.
Am I visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so phishing email, they will ask us to click on, they will tell us more convincingly. Okay, they will tell like this: if you don't click on the link, your account is being closed. Okay, so please click, you want to make your account active. Like that, they will more convincingly tell the clients to click on that links. So these are some of the examples of the phishing emails. So in the software industries, what we can do is in a banking industry, they will send, like our company will send at least once in a quarter, they will send the phishing mails to check us whether we are clicking or not. They will tell your TCS account is going to close, or something. They will tell your project is going to end. If you want to see the details, click on the below link. Like that, they will send us to test the employees. Like in healthcare applications also, in healthcare applications, they will send the mails to check, to educate the employees, to train the employees. Like this, how to identify what are the signs of phishing attack. So let's see, these are some of the signs, like poor grammar. They will use very poor grammar, and a lot of typos will be there. If you see carefully, like commas, there are a lot of typos will be there, and trying very hard to convince you to open that attachment, click on link, or reply without enough detail. Okay, as I said, we feel very tensed when we see that message. We feel very tensed. Okay, immediately they will tell, if you won't check it, or if you won't click on the link, your account is going to be closed, which is very bad thing for a client. So immediately he will try to click on the link and may appear to be from known person. So rely on the trust. Based on the trust, it seems the message comes from your friend or from colleague, but when you open it, or else when you click on that, then malicious software will enter into our system. So it is also one of the phishing attack. Ways to protect against the phishing. These are some of the ways. Like, don't be too trusting of people. Everything we should be very careful. Always be suspicious and alert. So everything, every entire mail you have to check, and you really are expecting that type of mail, or also you want to need to check it, like an email with your friend's name and info does not have to come from him or her. The mail will come from your friend name only, from your colleague name only, but information whatever there is not as per your expected thing. Okay, so you should be careful about that, and look for signs of phishing attack. As we discussed, there are signs, right? Like typo errors are there, grammatical errors are there. There more convincing thing like that, you have to check. Don't open the attachments unless you expect them. Okay, if there is unnecessarily, don't open any attachment. Okay, so you should be very careful on that. Scan for, before opening also you have to scan that, scan for any viruses there. Don't click links in email, directly type in. So if they send any link and click on the link, don't click it. If you need, just copy it and directly, or else directly type it that in the browser, then you can know whether it is trusted or not. And especially caution if asked for. So if anyone, any sector, whether it is banking, healthcare, nobody will ask passwords, bank accounts, right? So we should be very cautious. If they ask password, bank, credit card numbers and all, we should be very careful. And as we said, one of the cyber attacks is the ransomware attack. It's happened in around 2012. 1 minute. So yeah, it was a cyber attack. So the malicious software entered into the system and encrypts the user entire files, important files and everything. Okay, it slowly entered into the system and it encrypted all the files, what are the important files of a user, it encrypted. And then the attacker start demanding amount, whatever amount they have, whatever amount they ask. If the user pay it, then only he will allow the decrypt code. So that's the ransom. WannaCry is one of that ransomware attack. So NHS England declares major incidents as 40 trusts now affected. Okay, as a ransomware, if we see WannaCry, it will show message like this. If we want to access the system, immediately after some time it will be encrypted, so your system get locked, you can't access any files thing, and you will get this message. So Wanna Decrypt 2.0, if you want to decrypt your files, you have to pay the amount in a Bitcoin only. So this is one of the ransom attack. So how this WannaCry, the ransomware will come into our system is, first it will get injected through phishing attack. Okay, suppose the user click on the malware link, it will inject it and it will start working, as it will perform the encryptions and drop files for creating some ransom note and encrypt the local and shared files. Then everything will get locked. So coming to WannaCry, almost it happened in 2017. Around 230,000 computers got affected in entire world. Around 230 countries got affected, over 150 countries. Okay, so it is a great loss. It is very loss to the organizations, hospitals. It is a trust related, right? So it is a very big ransomware attack happened in 2017. See, it will show like this: your computer files are encrypted. This is all comes under user security level. And coming to the software security, so in the software security, the principles, the measures we follow for the software security are defense in depth. In defense in depth, what they are telling is we will give multiple layers of protection, because there is a no guarantee if we provide single layer of protection is enough for the cyber attacks. No, it is not like that. So it won't happen. So we have to give multiple layers of security, so that if one layer can't identify the attack, then other can work on it. So we have to give multiple layers, like what we can say, at physical security level, physical layer, we are locking the rooms. Then network security level, we are firewall, we are giving firewalls, intrusions. And application level, we are following the code practices, secured design. So like that, in multiple layers we have to follow the security. Then we can decrease the cyber attacks. We are giving the password, and at the same time we are giving the authentication also, which will increase the security, right? Like, and secure the weakest link. Always we have to secure the weakest link, because attacker can easily enter through that. Suppose we have very secure system where there is a very good healthcare application present, but if the employee is not trained how to use it, then it is also one of the weakest point for an attacker to attack it, right? And suppose if the network is very secure, but the employee give 111 as a password, it is also one of the weakest point, right? So always secure the weakest link and promote privacy, because the privacy ensures that whatever data stored, handled and collected is always securely. We need to promote that privacy and trust no one. In this digital world, we should not trust anyone, okay? In the company or else in the organization, if our manager or ask also, we can't give, we should not able to give. It's like violating the policies, right? We should not give the password. So we should not trust anyone. So what then, we have seen what are the attacks, what we can do. There are some best practices to design this software. If you go one by one, suppose the first one is modular design. So whatever design we are doing, we have to make it module wise. Okay, so for every module have to have some different aspect, okay, different functionality. So it will be easy to develop, design, maintain and deploy it. So we have to the approach we have to follow is a modular design. And check error conditions on the return values. So we have to check the error conditions. We have to do more testing on the error conditions, okay? Because that may go to the malicious attacks. That may happen malicious attacks. So we have to check the error conditions and validate inputs. We have to validate the inputs. That means we have to pose restriction on the inputs. This much format, this much length it should allow, this much format it should allow. So this type of validations we have to keep. So it will it will restrict the malicious inputs, okay? So we have to we have to validate the inputs and avoid infinity loops and memory leaks, because it will degrade the performances. So we have to be very careful. In large applications it will happen, the memory leaks and all. We have to always monitor with the tools and services and check for the integer overflow. Integer overflow means the maximum limitations. If it cross the maximum limit then of the integer, then it will be a overflow. So we should be careful on that. And language and library choices. The language in which the application developed is also very important. Which programming language we used is also very important for the security systems, because we can't develop a lot of programming languages are there. So based on the sector, like whether it is healthcare, banking, whether it is secure, like it is very secure, we should go with one programming language, or else public can access it, we will go in another programming language. So that type of choices we have to take. And development process, we have to we have to follow the robust process to develop, deploy, and test it. Malware. Coming to the malware, it is the code. It is a software they develop to harm or to damage to the systems. Okay, these are all types of malwares: virus, worm, trojan, spyware, logic bomb, backdoor, rootkit, and botnet. So let's see detail one by one. Coming to the virus, virus, as all we know, it's need user action. If he clicks on that link, then that file will get execute that file will get execute and virus will enter into our system. Whereas worm, it's a self-propagating malware. Okay, no need of any user action. It will once it will enter, it will it will replicate it. Okay, Trojan is nothing but a legitimate program with the additional hidden functionality, and it tricks the recipients, it tricks the users to download or to open that application. Okay, it looks very colorful, or it says like it is no harm, nothing will happen while clicking on that. It will convince the user to click on that, to download, or else to open the application. A spyware that spies and steals the information. Says software, it will steal once it enter. It is also one of the malware programming. Once it enter, it will start stealing the personal information. Yeah. And then logic bomb, malware that trigger under certain conditions. It won't trigger, it won't give all the data, but only certain conditions. Suppose there is one file, whenever that file, the user opened that file, then only I want to, as an attacker, I want to get that file data. Only that condition only it will run. Backdoor or trapdoor, it's mostly used by the attackers in ransomwares and all, because a hole left behind by malware for future access. Suppose if they demand also, once he get money, after 2 or 3 years, again he want to hack it, or he want to attack that system. So he left one hole to attack that system for the future access and all. So these are also comes under malware. And anti-spyware, ransom attack, as we say, software that tricks or forces user to pay before fixing the spyware detected. So it will forces the users to pay that amount to get rid of it. And rootkit, a program designed to hide existence of certain processor or programs from detection. What it will do is it will hide the existence of certain programs. Certain files are also there, but it will hide that existence. Okay, the user can't know whether that file is there or not. And botnet, as we know, it's like a malware device where interconnected computers that have been compromised, which controller of the botnet can use to do something, like example DDoS attack, distributed denial of service attacks. And defense against the malware. So what are the defense methods we can use to fight against the malware? One is installed and updated antivirus, anti-spyware, and personal firewall, and check for known signatures, check for improper file changes. Check for a generic patterns of malware known as heuristic scans. What it will do is it will scan whether some malicious thing is happened, very different patterns are entered into our system. It will check through heuristic scans. And firewall, coming to the firewall, it blocks certain network traffic in and out. If it is anything suspicious, then it will block it. Sandboxing technique. Sandboxing technique is the cyber technique where we will deploy, execute files in an isolated environment. So it will decrease the attacks from against the malware. And network monitoring and containment, we have to monitor it. User education should be must. Software patches and more secure protocols we have to use to defend against the malware. Newer threats. So if we see some more newer threats, so one is like social media spams, scans and clickjacking. So in social media spams and scans, as we know, more nowadays we have see giveaways. It is very like click on this, you will get this much products. If you see any festival time and new year time, we get forward messages also, right? If in Amazon you will get this much of coupons you will get if you click on it. If you share it, you will get this much of amount credited into your account. So they will give DMart also. I have seen this type of threats also, like DMart, you will get 10,000 grocery, you can freely buy it, like this giveaways, gifts. So they will convince the user to click on that. And clickjacking, so these all three comes under that. He will simply so what he will do is they will convince the user. And social media privacy issues. So the thing is that user privacy settings also very important. Nobody care on that. So user privacy settings, through that the attacker can know your personal information. So you should be very careful on the user privacy settings. And location services also, if you see some of the apps are there where you have to turn on your location. So this is also one of the threat. So you should be very careful on these two, user privacy settings and the location services. Mobile device malware and other privacy risks. So as we know that spyware or worms will be there, virus will be there in our mobile devices. So we have to be we have to do updates in our mobiles. And yes, Stuxnet, yeah. So it's an advanced malware targeting certain countries. So the thing is that it was mainly focused on the industrial. This threat was mainly focused on industrial sectors, newly Iran nuclear factories and all. It targeted and take so much of sensitive information. And also the next one is advanced persistent threats by governments and corporations against specific targets. So the attackers will target specifically to the government or else whoever active in the social media. So the attackers mainly concentrated on this type of people, like governments or corporations against specific targets. There is some goal, so they have to target that people. So this is also one of the newer threat. Yeah, security standards. That ISO IEC 27000 have introduced certain standards, international standards, to secure the information. Okay, so these are all some of the security standards, and each one will give information on the information security. Like 27,000 will give information security management systems overview and vocabulary, and one will give management system and requirements, code of practices, information security and guidelines of information and communication technology. So each one will give, these are a series of numbers. So complete that 27,000 series completely, they will give standards of the, what are the standards, security standards in the information security. And privacy and security laws. Coming to privacy and security laws, there will be ethical principles follow in every sector, whether banking sector or health sector. Coming to health sector, these are the 4 ethical principles we have to follow. First is autonomy. That means we have to respect every patient's information and their rights. We have to respect it. We have to, so whatever treatment the patient is undergoing, he has to know, it is his right to know about. And beneficiaries do good, okay. Then justice, we should not discriminate, okay. We should give treatment or same treatment to everyone. So that is justice and non-maleficence, nothing but don't do bad, okay. It comes to the criminal law. If we violate that one, it goes to the criminal law. So we have to follow these 4 ethical principles. And in the health sector, whatever there is a Hippocratic oath that whatever we see or hear in the course of treatment or even outside of the treatment in regarding to the life of men, which on no account one must spread abroad, I will keep myself holding such things shameful to be spoken about. So nobody should talk about the treatments, sensitive informations and all. What are the privacy safeguards we are using is, so some of the safeguards is that security safeguards, as we discussed before. We are keeping that safeguards like policies, we are introducing it, and we are encrypting the data. And informed consent, because we have to take the consent from the person if we want to share the information. Without the consent of a patient, we should not share the information. And privacy culture, it is increasing day by day in India. We should maintain the privacy culture. We should not share any information if someone asks, and or else some person who is top of a like manager or team lead, someone came and asked anything important thing, organization matter, we should not talk about. Salary things also we should not talk about between colleagues. So like the privacy culture is there, user awareness building and education, organization policies and regulations are there, and we are enforcing, there are a lot of enforcements are there to follow, and regular privacy and security assessments, monitoring and protection is there. So these are the privacy safeguards we are following. So coming to that privacy laws, so one of the privacy law is HIPAA law. So it means that Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act. It is a US federal law. It was introduced in 1996. The main goal is to ensure they will protect the patient's health information. So it is the main goal of it. If we see some of the goals, to protect health information coverage for workers and families when they change or lose jobs. Yeah, the first one is when they shift jobs or when they lose jobs, the company can impose like health insurance won't work right now. The health insurance companies can force the employees like, now you are not doing a job, health insurance won't work for you. So to get rid of that, one of the HIPAA goal is to protect the health insurance coverage for workers and families when they shift the jobs or when they lose jobs. And the second one is to require establishment of national standards for electronic healthcare transaction and national identifiers for providers, health insurance plans and employers. Okay, we are maintaining national standards and national level identifiers for providers who will provide that health health insurance plans, and employers. Administrative simplification provision also addresses security and privacy of health data. So in the administrative simplification, there is in standard formats and code formats we will use for efficient exchange. We will use these formats for administrative simplification provisions. There are different types of titles present in the HIPAA law. Each one addresses different aspects. So there are 5 titles if you see. title number one, if you title number one represent healthcare access, portability and renewability. That means the patient can access his data anytime. Okay, there is a no restriction. He can access his healthcare data at any time. So they will provide the access for it, and whatever data is they asked, the insurance company has to give regarding his data. So the company has to give. And title 2, preventing healthcare fraud and abuse, administrative simplification, medical liability reform. So this one title 2 mainly related to if something healthcare frauds or abuses happen, they will get rid of it. They will preventing by imposing more penalties. Okay, more penalties, punishments. If you see recently in 2004, American Medical Response. Yeah, it's a company, American Medical Response. In 2024, it almost paid 1 lakh $15,200 for just not providing a patients with timely access. So this is the penalty paid. Not only that, there are so many companies who violate the HIPAA's law. If you see Premier Blue Cross in 2020, it paid almost 16 million to breach the confidentiality. So like that, if as per the HIPAA laws, if anyone violate these laws, they must be severely punished, and or else they imposed a severe like a huge amount to pay. We have to pay the huge amount. And medical liability reform requires Department of Health and Human Services to draft rules. Yeah, HHS, it draft rules mainly aimed at increasing efficiency of healthcare system. The HHS imposed mainly 5 rules. We will see in the upcoming slide that 5 rules. And Title 3. Title 3 mainly related to tax related health provisions. Tax related means it will encourage the people to save for their medical by providing the tax incentives. And coming to the Title 4, the application and enforcement of group health plan requirements. It mainly related to group health plan requirements. When there is a job shift in their family, the insurance company have to help over that. Like still suppose if an employee lost his job after 2 months, he joined, these 2 months also that insurance company has to provide the insurance. And no discrimination regarding the people. This Title 4 will ensure that. And revenue offsets, and it will balance between the payers, the amount. It will balance mainly the funds and the amounts which has to given to the patients and all. It will comes under to the Title 5. So as I said just before, HHS promulgated 5 administrative simplification rules. So one is privacy rule and transaction and code set, security rule, unique identifier rules, and enforcement rule. Yeah, coming to a privacy rule, 1 minute. Sorry. Coming to privacy rule, it establishes national standards that it ensures that no like every individual data should be stored, collected, and stored in a protected manner. Okay, the privacy rules ensures that one. And coming to the transaction and code set rules, in for the transaction and code sets, there is some codes we will use in entire medical terms. Suppose for billing, there is one code, they will set one code. Okay, for suppose heart surgery is there is a separate code for heart surgery. 1 minute. Hello. So there will be a certain codes is there, unique identifiers rules. So we will, for every patient, there will be a unique identifier code is there to identify that. So it makes easy to identify the person. Yeah. Let me cover some important part as time is running out. If you go through, it will be once check the PPT after session is over. So I want to discuss on that. What is the restrictions on that? Okay. Yeah, HIPAA security and US challenges. Yes, in HIPAA privacy law, there is challenges also present. Okay, what are the challenges? Coming to one of the biggest challenges, actually HIPAA is for federal law. It's not a state law. Okay, so federal law, state law, there will be a conflict between that. Suppose if federal law having as a HIPAA having a federal law, it may take to get the personal information, these documents are enough, but state law may impose more restriction. They need more documents to get the data. Like that, there is always, it's not a like universal framework or else a complete US compliance framework. There is a conflict between federal versus state law and variations among state laws of different states. In US also, different states are following different laws. Suppose California having broad privacy laws, whereas the other states not having that. So that one is also one of the biggest challenge. And HIPAA only covers the covered entities. Covered entities means who are directly or indirectly worked for the health related information. You just go once to the to a PPT, then you can understand the concept of covered entities. Because covered entities comes only doctors, clinics, hospitals, and insurance companies, and also the billing services, and also the BS, business associates, that means indirectly support the covered entities. Only this much. Not every person can comes under HIPAA. Only the covered entities comes under the HIPAA Regulation Act. And no general privacy law in place, only few sectoral privacy laws. As I discussed, there is a no complete compliance law. So there is a sectoral based. This HIPAA comes under health sector. For financial sector, there is another law. For child, there is another law. So it is they divide it sector wise. And other countries which is having acts, and this is also one of the Thailand health information privacy law, where it will help. This is having different acts. Okay, it will mainly the Thailand, what it will ensure, the government should be very transparent, but some exceptions. That way they will disclose by default. By default they will disclose it, but protected by exception. So disclose by default means most of the times they will disclose the information, like administrative policies, what are the acts they are introducing, some public messages, they will disclose that. But they will protect some information based on the exceptions, like personal information. Suppose if that information harms the other person, then they will protect that data. So no universal, same for Thai also, Thai privacy laws also, no universal personal data privacy laws. It is also sector based, but draft law has been proposed, but not right now. There is a no universal personal data privacy law. And coming to the national health, the provision 7 is very important, because it will protect the health information from disclosure that could be damaging to an individual without his or her consent or required as per law. So we should not like, it will protect the health information from disclosures from attacks. This is Computer Related Crimes Act BE 2550 and 2560. It mainly focuses on computer crimes and computer related crimes like malware, virus, cyber attacks. So it will take control and it will give huge penalty on that. And the second one is responsibility of an organization as IT service provider, logging and provision of access data to authorities whenever they need it to investigate any crime related frauds, crime related things. The IT service provider's responsibility to give the logs to the whoever investigating, to the police people or to government people. It is their responsibility to give that logs and everything. And finally, this is the Electronic Transaction Act, because in entire thing I am not going to point wise. The summary of this is we have to encourage the electronic transactions, we have to encourage the electronic signatures, we have to ensure the users that paper related documents and electronic documents both are having same preferences. So we have to encourage the governments and all financial sectors and certificate authorities. Yeah, thank you all. If you have any questions, you can ping me. Hello.
Participants, if any questions, you can post in the chat box.
Yeah, please post it. And I am giving my email ID. If you have any queries, you can ping me on that. And thank you so much for giving this great opportunity. And if you have any queries, please ping it.
Yeah, I would like to take this opportunity and thank Mrs.Y.Pramathi ma'am for sharing her experience. We are truly grateful to you ma'am for contributing significantly for this FTP through your valuable insights and engaging presentation. Thank you so much ma'am.
Thank you so much.